So this article from Engadget is talking about the F2 Pro being a high-end all-screen phone for $499. If you see right here, it has a pop-up. It has a pop-up selfie cam, and it makes me happy to see that. No notch, no bezels, no hole punch. It's looking pretty good. So earlier this year, Xiaomi decided to spin off its sub brand that created the Poco Phone F1, now known as Poco. The company has announced its latest phone, the F2 Pro. And like its predecessor, it features flagship specs and a slick design. With a 6.67-inch AMOLED notchless display, a Snap 865 processor, and liquid cooling, the phone is positioned to compete against the likes of flagship models like the OnePlus 8 series. The F2 Pro might look familiar. That's because it's actually the international version of Xiaomi's Redmi K30 Pro. Both models are equipped with LPDDR5 RAM and UFS 3.1 flash storage, so top of the line. Poco says that this combo decreases load times and enables quicker multitasking. The Snap 865, which is the same chip used in Samsung's Galaxy S20 series, helps to process more advanced photos and footage. The F2 Pro is capable of detailed macro shots, low light photos, and 8K video. So very high-end specs. The notchless design precludes a front-facing camera, but the F2 Pro has a pop-up camera, which can shoot slow-mo selfies at 120 frames per second. These specs are exciting. The phone itself looks like a premium device, and the 499 euro, about $540 price makes the Poco F2 sound like a lot of bang for the buck. So I see 540. So I didn't watch the unveiling. I don't know if it was earlier this morning or last night, but I was sleeping. I think I woke up today at like 10:15 in the morning. But the phone will be available later today from the retailers like GearBest. So I heard that the $499 US dollar price point is an introductory price point, I think. But I have to double check on that, and will hopefully be on Amazon soon. If the specs and the warm reception of the Poco Phone F1 are anything to go on, the Poco F2 Pro could be a hit. So when the Poco F1 came out, that phone came out with a Snapdragon 800 chipset. Was it the 855? No, 845, whatever it was, but that priced at $299. So this one is saying $499, which is still a really good price, especially in today's market. And so I opened GearBest's website here. So this is saying $499 US. Again, I have to look at the actual details of what the prices are going to be. And I think the $499 price point is for 64 gigs of internal storage. And I don't think it's UFS 3.1. I don't know if it's UFS 3.0, but I have to, again, I haven't had all the time this morning and this afternoon to really go through it, but we're going through it now. So Snap 865 with like a liquid cooling technology, 6.67-inch AMOLED. So it's an FHD display. You're not getting quad HD. You're not getting 90 hertz refresh rate or 120 hertz. This is your 60 hertz refresh rate. It has quad cameras. It has 4 cameras in the back, 8K video, and it has a front a selfie pop-up camera, which is really exciting for me. I kind of want this phone just to test it out, because it also has a full screen, and it has a 4,700 milliamp hour battery with 30-watt fast charging. So there's no wireless charging in it. So those are some of the caveats, right? Again, it's not going to have every single feature on this phone, but it's going to have a good amount for people who are looking for high performance, a lot of storage, or at least a decent amount of storage. So let's kind of scroll down and see what else that they have here. So it's equipped, with LPDDR5 and UFS 3.1. And you see there's an asterisk here because I think you have to buy the higher end version for that. Liquid cool technology. Okay, so Wi-Fi 6, 5G. And then again, a huge battery. 4,700 milliamp hours is a huge battery. I'm wondering how good that battery life is going to be, since it's only going to have a 1080, FHD display. Sorry, I'm just looking to see what else I'm missing. 4 cameras, a 64 megapixel main camera, and then a 13 megapixel ultra wide, a 5 megapixel telemacro, telephoto, I guess a telephoto and a macro, right? I think, and then a depth sensor. Jerome, the problem with the POCO F2 Pro is that you can get OnePlus 7 Pro for that price, and I would choose OnePlus any day because of software. That's a great point. The OnePlus 7 Pro, though, is using, well, I guess the only difference there, right, is it's using an older Snapdragon chipset, right? 855, is it 855 plus, 845? I don't remember. But I think the only other problem with the OnePlus 7 Pro is how readily available is it to get. Sorry, excuse me. How readily available is it to get today? Like, can I easily go and get one? I totally agree with you though, especially because of the software. Like, I have no idea how this Poco, what is it? Poco Poco launcher or whatever. I mean, how I would mess with it is I would probably end up modding it, right? When Lineage or whatever comes out and you're able to ROM it with something different. That's probably how I do it. But I hear you. I totally hear you. I'm curious though how easy it is to get a OnePlus 7 Pro now. Or what those even price at. Hopkins says, yeah, 855 in the OnePlus 7 Pro, and that's perfectly fine. It is. I'm sure most people aren't even going to tell the difference between an 855 and an 865, especially, like I've said, 5G isn't the greatest thing in the world right now. But again, to see a Poco F2 Pro undercut everybody right now is nice. I'm glad that they're doing what they need to do. And maybe these are going to be the guys that are going to replace OnePlus. Maybe. I mean, don't quote me on that, but for them to at least put something out at a much cheaper price point and say, hey, like the phones don't have to be priced, the way that these other companies are doing it. It's at least nice to see. Okay, so let me see here. Levin saying Poco launcher is pretty much stock. I'll have to check that out. Yeah, I wonder how good, or I wonder how easy it is to use in the States, or if it's going to be difficult, like what kind of bands are going to be on here. And I see Will saying that too. Check the bands.